Okay, welcome you, all of you here for a graphology session, the first session where we are going to understand the basics of graphology. What are the basics of graphology? Why handwriting analysis works? What goes into it? What are the concepts with which it works? Why your writing should speak anything? Why? What goes into it? What is the scientific base to graphology? See, when we human beings write something, and when we write with our fingers, this is how I write, and my fingers are moving. When the fingers are moving this way, actually the brain cells are making it move. My fingers are moving, my brain is making them move. So actually I have got a brain. This is your symbolic brain. This is your symbolic brain. Now your brain has got approximately 18 billion cells. Don't go on the figures, please. Don't go on the figures. I'm just giving you some figures. There are approximately 18 billion cells in your brain. The moment you write, that means the moment you think, the brain cells are active. These cells are active. The moment they are active, they interact with each other. When they interact with each other, there's a reaction. And that reaction is in the form of impulse. This is impulse. Now these impulses get on the paper in the form of one dot. These impulses. The moment you think, the brain cells are active. The moment the brain cells are active, they interact with each other. The moment they interact with each other, there is a reaction. The reaction can be in any form. When I clap, these two cells interact with each other. There is no sound. In either of the palms, there is no sound. When they interact with each other, the reaction is in the form of sound. And that reaction here, when the brain cells interact, that reaction is in the form of a dot. There is a dot being imprinted on the paper. Single dot, one single dot. And because I am thinking consistently, continuously, there is a series of dots. This series of dots can be termed, what is a line? Line is a series of dots. Now, if there is a series of dots, this can be termed as line. Or it can be termed as loop. This can be termed as loops. Or it can be termed as curves. This can be termed as curves. Or in extreme form, this will be termed as angles. These lines, loops, curves, angles, these are the only formation you can have in any writing, any language, any drawings. These are the four formations you can ever have. One is lines, loops, curves, and angles, and of course a dot. Now these can be termed as graph. This whole thing together can be termed as graph. And this graph, if you study these graphs systematically, logically, scientifically, then this science has to be known as graphology. What is graphology? It's a science of graphs. Graphs are erupting as line, loops, curves, and angles. And line, loops, curves, and angles are formed through dots. Dots are the representation of the interaction happening in the brain cells because you think. So your thinking is being represented in your handwriting in the form of graphs. And if you study those graphs scientifically, logically, systematically, then this science has to be known as graphology. What is graphology? Now the analogy of graphology is, it's a science of graphs. Graphs are in the form of line, loops, curves, and angles. Now these lines, loops, and angles are formed through dots. Dots are the eruption. It's a manifestation of your thoughts. So we can read from the graphs, we can read your brain. And brain works as a processor to your thoughts. So what we are basically reading is the thoughts. We are basically reading the thoughts. Graphology is representing your thoughts. Graphology is representing your thoughts. And who are you? You are a thought. As a human being, you are a thought. You are nobody else but a thought. What is the difference between you and somebody else? What is the basic difference between you and somebody else? It's your thoughts. You differ from your thoughts. You have got a different set of thoughts. I've got a different set of thoughts. He has got a different set of thoughts. That's how we are different. When we have got difference of opinion, there is no physical difference. There is no physical difference. It's just a opinion difference or a thought difference. The whole world, whenever they are fighting with each other, they are not fighting on a physical front. They are not telling that you eat more and I eat more, something of that sort. They are fighting on the basis of thoughts, that you think this way and I think this way. There is a basic difference in the thoughts. So these thoughts make you as a human being. And these thoughts are represented in the handwriting. And whatever those thoughts are is seen in the writing. Now, this differs country to country, religion to religion, human to human, races to races. That's why different races think differently, because they write differently. Their thoughts are represented differently. That's how we are different. That's how we say that you are from this set of thoughts and I am from this set of thoughts. Okay? Any questions you would like to ask on this? This is known as the analogy of handwriting. There are basically 18 billion cells which interact with each other. And one more important aspect. When I write, my 80 to 85 to 90% brain cells are active. When I am writing, my on the higher side, my 95% brain cells are active. And when I'm talking to you, when I speak to you, not more than 45 to 50% brain cells are active. So while I'm writing, it's very difficult for me to lie. When I'm talking to you, it's very easy for me to lie. Basically, there is a lot of cells who are active, who participate in writing, because the fingers have got maximum space in the brain. Your fingers have got maximum space in the brain. Each part of our body has got some space in the brain. Brain controls those parts: kidney, liver, lungs, spleen. All these parts are controlled by the brain. Maximum control, maximum space occupied in the brain for a body article is the finger. Fingers have got maximum space in the brain. Among the finger, are you aware which finger has got the maximum space among the finger? Thumb has got the maximum space. And you observe somebody writing right now. You'll observe that he or she is writing with a thumb. Thumb is basically giving the instructions to the pen. So directly the brain is involved in writing, because fingers have got maximum space. Among the finger, thumb has got the maximum space. That's why you use your thumb the maximum. Just see what are you doing right now. You're using your thumb in some or the other manner. Just try to pick up something and just see there are 4 fingers on one side and one single thumb on the other side. That means thumb is so important. Thumb is so important. That's the reason Eklavya was asked to give the thumb, because just one thumb and everything is over. Your thumb, that's why thumbs up, that's why thumbs down. That important, that very important. Thumb, and you write with your thumb. That's the reason thumb is used for acupressure in the maximum manner. Thumb is representing your brain the maximum.